Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Yoshman66. I'm your host or presenter or whatever you want to call me. I'm here to entertain you. Now, as I promised, I said I was going to do this. Now, I thought I'd do this today and then I'll put up another video tomorrow. You might not like this, but yeah, I thought I'd go through it. What's your favourite film format, black and white or colour? I thought I'd give you a little bit of history about it. I've got it all written down here. So this is how its history of film. Although the start of the history of film as an artistic medium is not clearly defined, the commercial public screening of 10 of Lumiere brothers' short films in Paris on the 28th of December 1895 can be regarded as the breakthrough of projected cinematographic motion pictures. There had been earlier cinematographic result screenings by others, but they lacked either the quality, financial backing or stamina or the luck to find the momentum propelled in the cinematographic Lumiere into worldwide success. Now, into worldwide success. Soon, film production companies and studios were established all over the world. The first decade of motion picture saw films moving from novelty to an established mass entertainment industry. Earliest films were in black and white, under a minute long, without recorded sound, and consisted of a single shot from a steady camera, basically. Conventions towards general cinematic language developed over the years, with the editing camera movements and other cinematic techniques contributing specific roles in the narrative of films. Special effects became a feature in movies since late 1890s, popularized by Georgius Méliès fantasy films. Many effects were impossible or impractical to perform in the theatre. Plays thus added more magic to the experience of the movies. Technical improvements added length, researching 60 minutes for a feature film in 1906. Synchronized sound recording, mainstream since the end of the 1920s. Colour mainstream since the 1930s, and 3D mainstream in theatres in the early 1950s. And since the 2000s, sound ended the necessity of interruption card, revolutionised the narrative possibilities of filmmakers and became integral part of filmmaking. Popular media, including television and mainstream since 1950s, home video mainstream since the 1980s, internet mainstream since the 1990s, influenced on the distribution and consumption of films. Film production usually responded with content fit the new media with technical innovations, including widescreen, mainstream since 1950s, 3D and 4D film, and more spectacular films to keep the theatrical screenings attractive. Systems that were cheaper and more easily handled, including 8mm film video. Smartphone cameras allow for increasing number of people to create films, verifying qualities. So there you go. I'm not going to go through it all. I've gone through the main bit, which was the early one. So yeah, that's what we're going through. That's what I'll be talking about. Yeah, I'll give you a brief history there. And now I'll tell you regular test colour broadcast began in the 1970s. With a colour TV set being built in 1975. So there you go. So So there you go. So there you go. But I can remember colour. Well, I remember colour, in them years. Yeah. But to find out exactly, I mean, it says here when were the first. Regular test colour began in the 1970s, which the first colour TV sets being built in the 1975. Well, I don't know where that is. I thought colour was out before that. You know what I mean? How much did first colour TV cost in 1950? 1955. First colour coverage of World Series baseball game. 30th of December 2000. Well, whatever. First colour television sets were sold 50 years ago. There you go, 50 years ago. You know what I mean? I knew roughly 1970. I was watching colour TV when I was 4 years old. I can remember that. But I think it became more popular in the 70s than anything else, and then it just flooded the market, if you know what I mean. My mum and dad had to rent one, if you know what I mean. Couldn't afford to buy one. But that's a brief history on it in any case. And I thought, well, why not start? So what format do you prefer? Do you prefer the black and white, or do you prefer the colour format? I mean, it all depends on what you're being brought up with. I mean, me and my mate Kevin, we were discussing this last night. I mean, he's always said he does prefer things in black and white. Especially films and that. Me and him were talking, and we do come to this agreement with black and white, whereas you get more depth, if you know what I mean. Black and white. If you don't know, it's two different shades of white and two different shades of black. White pixels, two different shades and two different shades of black to give you that black and white picture, and then it's made and then obviously done. It's made more clear in photographs, if you know what I mean. I mean, I used to go to I still do. If I go to like antique fairs or if I go to an antique shop, I look for photo albums, and I look for old photo albums, which is like Victorian period and Edwardian period as well. And they're all black and white, and you can tell the black and white is this soft imaging and stuff like that. And you can tell if it's been re-digitised or not, or touched up. A lot of old colour films do get touched up. We do know this, and I know this goes on because of old films of what I've got. Star Wars has been remastered and things like that. And when they're being remastered, it's had a colour update basically. It's been remastered. They saved it, if you know what I mean, and put it into digital and things like that. So I thought I'd give you a few things. You'd have seen this on the thumbnail, but there you go. So that's a black and white cover, and I think her face tells the story. It says carve her name with pride. I mean, her face tells the story. She knows there on that shot she's going to die because she did get shot for being a spy. Nazis killed her basically. There was an outrage when she died. And then when you go to the colour side of it, let me find. So when you come to the colour side of it, which is like that tells the story, but they're working much harder to get that story across because it's in colour, basically. So, you know what I mean? And this is a colour, but it's a black and white film. So there you go. So they are black and white films, and I think with black and white films, it's easier to capture a mood and things like that. So, if we come to this particular film, The Eagle Has Landed, that is a colour film, and things like that. This is a bit better. Look how hard. Look how the lighting's got to be when you're doing action shots like that. Whereas, I mean, I will show you the difference. But whereas in, you know, black and white, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. But I think they have to work harder with colour than they do with black and white. I wanted an action shot. Okay, if you look at that one, look at that one, right top. Face says it all, doesn't it? It's only a short glimpse, but look at his eyes. That tells you, yeah, there's something going on. You know what I mean? And then when you look at that, the lighting is more forgiving with black and white films, I think, and that's why I like black and white films. I really do. I really love the black and white films. And there you go. And that's my favourite format in all classic films. I mean, it's because my favourite film in all of this, I must admit, my favourite, it's not in here. It is if you know what I mean. I do have a favourite film, which is, again, it's a black and white film. But that's an early, they've coloured it sympathetically, but it is definitely black and white. And it's a film, Reach for the Sky is the story of Douglas Bader. But look how it can be, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a very good thing. And yet again, above us are the waves. That's about the, look how dramatic he is. You know what I mean? And really, I do push. I do push the narrative, and I do give my reasons why I like black and white films. And one of the reasons why I like black and white films, if you look, working much harder with the background. Yeah, I mean, colour's supposed to give it more dramatic. It does. But look at that. That's from a colour film with a black and white. Now look at that. That is more dramatic in it than that. I honestly think, the look on their face, as a, it's been shot as a still in black and white, and it's been put coloured over the top, as we know, the remake of the Narrow Margin. It's an old, it's an old film, but this is a remake of it. Still the same storyline, but you know what I mean. So yeah, and again, when you look at that, they have to put so much into it to get the right one. Return from the River Kwai. You've got Ace's Eye. If you didn't know that, it's Roddy McDowall. Oh, Malcolm McDowell and Christopher Plummer in this. So Malcolm McDowell. He was in Blue Thunder with Malcolm McDowell, and he was also in one of the Day Out films. So there you go. And when you look at this, to make it stand out, I'm going to show you something else in it. It's more dramatic than that. But Wendley, now this was a stroke of genius when they did this cover. Look at that. Look how intense that is. That's neither colour or black and white, but it tells you the story, doesn't it? It really dramatic sizes it. Have it, I mean. If you want early colour, this is it. Them two films is early colour, sympathetically done. Everyone likes a good old Enigma Code. I like this film. It's a good film. And I remember. Do you remember the Four Musketeers? Anybody? I've got them both. But it just reiterates what I've always believed. Four Musketeers. Now, here's one for Mr. UK Kraut. I thought I'd put this up. I don't know if you've got it or not, but yeah, I have. Time Bandits. I love this film, Time Bandits. I really do. It is a good film. Sean Connery's in this. I love the Time Bandits. I really do. Yeah, I think Sean Connery and I think it's John Cleese who's in this as well. And it's a real good comedy film. It really is. And I do like it. I really do. So there you go. So there's a few examples of, well, like I say, of a black and white cover, which is, I think, stands out more. It's timeless, really, when you think about it. And a colour cover. I think we're the two. So yeah, you better tell by side. There you go, side by side there, and that. And I think that tells you, I honestly think black and white is more dramatic than colour. I really do. It tells you more of a more dramatic story. And I think with black and white, if you got camera shake, it sympathetically looks alright, if you know what I mean. But with colour, you can tell it's deliberately blurred, especially if you're shaking with your camera and things like that. But we have moved on, haven't we? I mean, when you think about it, we've got smartphones now where we can take films. I'm on an iPad here, talking to myself through this camera, telling you why I like black and white films. And don't get me wrong, I do like colour films. I'm not saying colour is bad. What I'm saying is, with when they were making black and white films, they only had the black and white format, so they only had 2 different shades of white and 2 different shades of black to work with, and that's how come you get that dramatic, Take the Titanic disaster in 1950, the 1958, the first disaster movie, Titanic disaster movie, basically. When they filmed that, you can see it is dramatic. Even a little bit of a scene, they don't have to work too much. And if they do get a little bit of blurriness in it, especially when they close up and they get that blurriness, it makes it look more romantic, if you know what I mean. Where with colour, I think they have to work a lot harder to get the dramatic in. I mean, with colour, you have to add all the explosions, all the colours and things like that. With black and white, you don't. Because it's going to be white when water explodes and things like that. And it looks more dramatic, and it's a simple format as well. A lot of people disregard black and white, if you know what I mean. I worked with black and white film for a long time. I used to take a lot of film in black and white. I ain't got them now, unfortunately, because of my ex-wives burning them. But yeah, I mean, but now it's all gone digital cameras and that, and I do believe you can get film online, but it's getting it processed in it, and I can't do it, and I don't do my own processing. So digital cameras. I have got a digital camera. I've got my phone. Now and again, I will put it to black and white and take a picture, but it's not the same, if you know what I mean. It's a digital black and white image. It looks the same even if it were in colour or not. You know what I mean. Whereas if you go back through the decades with all black and white films and black and white still photography from the period, 1960s. My dad were taking photographs in the 70s and 80s in black and white. He prefers the black. Well, my dad preferred still black and white film. For some unknown reason, he just won't accept colour. He did accept it eventually, but there you go. And that's what I mean. I think you can make a still picture look more dramatic than you can with a colour. But don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking colour. Colour programs were absolutely brilliant. They've done a lot of good colour films and things like that. I mean, that David Cameron film, the Titanic, when he did it in '97, when that were done, he's done a good job of that to get that as good as he did. You know what I mean? And when he did Avatar, to get that as good, he had to make a whole new camera for that film to get the shots what he wanted. and he's done really well. You know what I mean? But I think when I watch an old black and white film, you know, bit of romance there, a bit of this and a bit of that, and yeah, I really do like that, and that's my favourite format is black and white films, and that's why I've got a lot of them here. That's why I've got a lot of them here, old classics, like you know, that's a black and white film appointment. That's the Malta Stories, black and white film. We Dive at Dawn. That's a black and white film. That's the Way Ahead is a black and white film. 49 Parallel is a black and white film. The Long and the Short and the Tall is a black and white film. Carve Her Name with Pride is a black and white film. Which We Serve is a black and white film. Which, Above Us Are the Waves, that's a black and white film. Battle of the River Plate is a colour film, and The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp is a black and white film. I'll Met by Moonlight that's definitely a black and white film. Reach for the Sky is a black and white film, and The Lions As Wings, black and white film. It's a good film, that. It's documentary based. And now it was Monty's Double, and that were based on a black and white. That's a black and white film as well. That's why I've got a lot of them, because I do like the old black and white format. So if you've liked this video, please thumbs it up. Please subscribe if you're new. It's free to subscribe. I'm not after anything. This is ginger free. I'm just showing you my pleasure, what I like, and me hobby basically. And please, most importantly, hit that bell, hit the notifications. It's all that will let you know when I'm putting up another video, unless YouTube algorithms playing up. And please share the video to your friends, family, your grandma, your granddad, or Twitter and Facebook. I'll be very much grateful. And please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. What's your favourite format? Is it colour or is it black and white? I think it goes on what you were brought up with when you were younger. I was brought up with black and white, then I went into colour, and obviously I watched, you know, Thunderbirds in colour, I watched Space 1999 in colour, I watched Star Trek in colour in 1966 that were made, yeah, and that's in colour. So yeah, I mean, and we do know it was the early 50s where colour TVs first came out and began to be sold basically. So there you go. But I think it got more popular in this country as it went ahead. But then again, I don't trust Wikipedia. But that's as much as I can find out, and that's a little bit of history of it as well. So yeah. But there you go. So if you liked it, please like, subscribe, share and comment below. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. Catch you all later.